Hello and welcome to the fourth videos. We're going to talk about a query this time. I hope you noticed that we did in the previous video how to establish a quick understanding of what is a form and a subform. I would like to remind you that I have two managers with the first one with John Smith has 3 employees, and if I go here and look at Mary Jones as the second manager who has 2 employees too. So again, I would like to remind you that if you do look at the form, the form is a much prettier face to data entry than what we would have to look at in the table. Also, I told you in the previous video we should not allow anybody to mess with the table. So if I click this form to close it, I want you to notice that by adding the data, I ended up with the table manager with 2 managers, and the table employee must show me 5 of them. So again, whatever I do in the form is going to send it directly to the table, and whatever I do with the table is going to also impact how the form is going to view the data. Always the table are the foundation for everything we use in a relational database. That's where the entity resides. So I'm going to close this and start looking at the query. The query, I'm going to be looking at certain type of calculation, and also I wanted to see maybe all the employees who are making more than certain amounts. So I'm going to look at the query design, and I'm going to add the table manager first, since it's going to be the one in the relation. Table employee is this many. I always like to have the one to the left. Now I want to show the manager's name, and I could show the department also. I'm going to show the employees first name, last name, and salary. Of course, I did actually 2 salaries, so I could go ahead and do undo easily. And if you run the query, you notice that it's going to show me the departments multiple time, of course, and managers. That's not to worry about the query. It's most important is to how we view them. And I have 5 employees, and let's go ahead and see how many of those employees happens to make more than greater than or equal to 50,000. So the criteria now in the query, which is the query by itself, is called a question with the criteria. I'm going to change that to the design, and under the salary here, under the criteria, I'm going to put greater than or equal to 50,000. If I run this without anything one more time, you're going to see that it's going to show me everything. And also, don't restrict your imagination only to 5 employees. Imagine 500 employees in the real world, where we're going to have a lot more to deal with. So if I do actually look at the 50,000 or greater than or equal to 50,000, this is going to be excluded from the list. Cliff Roberts and also Ahmed Mohsen is going to be also excluded from the list. So let's go ahead into the design and see how we're going to do that. It's going to be greater than or equal to 50,000, and it's going to show me, when I run the query, only those people who make more than or greater than or equal to 50,000. We could go ahead and do additional calculation. Let's assume that I wanted to give each one of those employees a raise based on the fact that they are making more than or equal to $50,000. We could apply the raise to everybody, of course. Let's go ahead and do it first. After the raise, we're going to say how we're going to do the calculation for the adding 5% raise for all of them. Okay, then we're going to go back to the salary and check which salary we want to find greater than or equal to 50,000 or any other values that we want to test for. Let's go ahead and say the raise is going to be the salary, which is this value here. I'd like to say this builder here is much better. It's easier to show it. Raise equals salary multiplied by 5% plus the salary itself. So this is going to really give me, if you don't look here, this is the salary after the raise. Of course, we could go ahead and change that to different format in a second, I will show you the quickest way of looking to change this format from what you see into currency. Okay? Okay, let's go ahead and go back to this. And since this is the raise, so this is the raise is a calculated field. So there's the raise is going to be adding 5% to their salary. If I click the right buttons, there is the property here, and I go to the format, and let's go ahead and make it currency. Make it currency. So if I take a look at the RON, it's going to show me. Oh, I changed the currency to a different. I think this is a euro. So we're going to make sure that it's changed to $, our currency. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right, so we have to make sure that we get the 5% in the raise. Also, believe it or not, I could click on the right button here in the property. If you look here, and I could change the caption here to raise, okay, or increase in the salary. So if I take a look here, you will notice that I could change that to the raise. And of course, I could change even the department to be better looking than that. Alright, so this is going to actually allow me to do all this stuff that I can do. I could put the first name and the last name of the employees together. So I could say here, employee's name, just one word, employee's name is going to be first name, employees first, and concatenate is to add two words instead of using the plus sign to add two numbers. And I wanted to say space between double quotes and another concatenation or the ampersand sign, and I'm going to say last name, and this is going to be a calculated field for strings or constant string. So if you take a look at this one here, of course maybe I missed something, that's why I got this last name. It's not, there is nothing like called last name. It's called employee last. That's why it's giving me this error. I like to make error because this way you know it's not really it's a frightening things to have if you come across similar error that you make. Now you notice that I combined both first name and last name into one other field. And if I wanted to go ahead and also change the caption of this one here to, let's say, full name or employee's full name, I could do that. Let's go ahead and say employee's name. Here we go. Since I have the employee's name, I don't need to show the employees first or last. It's not going to really be helpful when I do show it. Notice here, I could go ahead also change this and move this one here to before the salary. So I dragged it, and if I look at the RON, you will notice that I have employees' names, salaries, and raise. And this is what I'm going to be as the foundation for my next move. But however, I wanted to only show those people who makes $50,000 after I did all this calculation. So I'm going to go change the design and click on the salary here and see who is the one before the raise who got more than or equal to $50,000. And if I run it, you notice now, one second here, obviously this is the salary, it should be $50,000, not $5,000. It's going to exclude those two people, and it's going to give me exactly what I want. Now I changed the first name and last name into one field. It's easier to join things using the ampersand. I did a calculated field for the raise after giving each person 5%, but I didn't show everybody. I showed only those people who were making more than $50,000 to start with. And this is my query. I'm going to save my query. It's very important to save the query. So by saving here, or saving object as, I'm going to call it QRY, all employees after raise, with raise, who make more than or equal to $50,000. I could even put the $50 sign here where I could not put it into the query. Okay. Okay, it doesn't allow me to put a lot of I don't know what's maybe it's too much characters, or the dollar sign is not allowed. Let me see if I took the dollar sign out. Yeah, it didn't allow me to put the dollar sign in the name. Just like it doesn't allow me to put the dollar sign here because it's required the salary as a number, so don't put the dollar sign there. Alright, let's go ahead and see if that is the case. That's fine. I have a query with a full name. It's a long name, but it's very descriptive name, so I don't really get too confused later to what this query versus other query I might have to create later. So I'm going to stop here, and we're going to pull the query directly into a report, and that's what we're going to hand the person who is going to ask us. Answer the question for me. Who is the list of the people with their raise who making more than or greater than or equal to $50,000 initially? And we'll be able to show them that report. Thank you, and I'll see you in the last video, which is coming next. Bye-bye.